What's happening, people? Inside the White Lines, back with episode number 2. We're here to talk about our starting 11s. We're all going to give a starting 11, who we think the team of the season was, and go through each other's, a little bit of criticism, who we agree on, who we don't. So, without dragging it out, let's get it cracking. Whose team are we gonna critique first of all, boys?
I think we should do. Who do you want to do? I've got Tom's up here. Should we do Tom's first?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the joke. Let's get the joke out of the way.
I don't think you can call it a joke. I think it is the team of the season.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
All right, you go there, yeah.
All right.
I'm talking through it then, Tom.
Right. Well, I think Pope deservedly first goalie. You can go Edison, I suppose. He's another good shot, but I think
no way.
Being in a worse team, he nicks it.
Edison would never make my number one keeper. He's got too many mistakes in him.
He had the most clean sheets.
Yeah, but he had the most errors leading to goals as well. Give away
people
penalties
on their stats, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Pope had a good season. I think he's now cemented himself as England's number one. I think that's clear. So yeah, I went for Pope basically. Back line, right back. Anyone who hasn't put Trent Alexander, I don't know what you've been watching this season. That speaks for itself. Same at left back, Robertson. Virgil van Dijk, best centre back in the league by a country mile. And to play with him, I went for the Leicester guy. I thought he had a really good season. I know Leicester went off the boil a little bit after the restart, but up until that point, him and Johnny Evans had a great partnership, and he was central to that. I think that's why Leicester done so well. He was a great signing. Sold Maguire for 80 million. I think he's a better player.
I think he's originally a centre midfielder as well, you know.
Oh, really?
I think so,
yeah.
I thought he started the season strong, but I feel like he wasn't enough to make my team personally, just because, I don't know, like you say, the first maybe 5-6 games of the season, he looked like he was going to be, if anything, better than Maguire, but I don't know. He made quite a few mistakes as well. Yeah,
I don't know. I think he's deep. I'll put him in mine. I think he's good. I think he's
in everyone's but mine.
Yeah, I think he's a good. I thought he was a really good signing for them. I don't know how much they paid for him, but I can't imagine it was nowhere near the 80 million they sold Harry Maguire to.
Oh, no.
And I would argue that he's had a better season than Maguire.
He was involved in 12 clean sheets. That's all I know.
Yeah, 12 clean sheets. Good player, good solid defender. I would definitely have him at Arsenal. Let's put it like that.
You'd have anyone at Arsenal.
Well, that's true. And left back speaks for itself again. Robertson, hands down, best in the league. Don't think we need to say much about him.
No, Chilwell don't get a shout out now.
Chilwell gets a shout out, but honestly, I don't think right back and left back you can look past Liverpool this season.
No, I mean 13 and 12 assists. It's not even a question for me.
Once Chilwell signs for Chelsea and we win the league next season, it'll be fine. He'll make the list then.
Yeah, they're shit hot basically. The Liverpool wing backs. Right, in my midfield,
19 million to young crew, by the way.
19 million. See,
bargain.
So you saved yourself £60 million, and
you've
got a better player.
Talking of Harry Maguire, have you heard the Leicester song where they basically they got a chant in it for Harry Maguire about they don't need him no more. Fuck off, Harry Maguire. We've got Soyuncu.
It's true though.
Yeah.
It's true. I can see why they're chanting that.
Mate, 80 million they cashed in and they paid 19 for him. And well, the thing is, you say this about Maguire, but when I think I want more from him for 80 million, but I think he got worse towards the end of the season because but he didn't get a break, bro. He never got one break throughout the whole season, and I think he was like leggy.
Well, apart from the 3 months that the Premiership wasn't being played for.
Well, all right, yeah. You know what I mean, though. I mean, as in he played every. I think he played like every minute of every Premier League game for United.
When you're the captain of a big team like that and you're in defence, you play. Like,
I don't think he should be the captain. Really, I don't know. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Who knows?
Out of interest, I know it's off topic, but who would you have as captain?
At United?
Yeah.
Bruno, probably.
Oh, bloody hell. You'd have him as president of Manchester as well,
yeah, trust me. They're getting the statue up next week.
Like, you take Bruno at centre back at Arsenal. I don't know what you're taking.
12 penalties, mate. You can't go on with that.
I don't know, because Maguire is probably a big character, but I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'm not
It's
sure.
got to be Maguire. There's no other characters in your squad.
I'd maybe have Pogba as my captain. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Pogba captain France, World Cup winner. I swear he was the captain of France, wasn't he?
Was he?
I'm not sure. I think it's Lloris, but
Yeah, it was Luis.
Oh, was it? I don't know. I just remember him giving that passionate speech in the dressing room before the final.
I just remember him singing "Football's Coming Home" afterwards. A twat.
Anyway,
your midfield, Tom.
right, my midfield. I know you lot are going to definitely criticise. Well, Kevin De Bruyne again. Anyone that ain't got him in team of the season, what football was you watching? You must have been watching the Italian league or something. Because
Definitely shouldn't be doing a football podcast.
No, he's obviously the best player in the league, hands down. Creativity, vision, everything. He's got everything. Can shoot, does bits of tackling, gets about the pitch well. He's got everything. In my opinion, best player in the league.
13 goals, 20 assists.
There you go. Record joint with Thierry Henry now. That's been standing for a long while, and he's the only one that's ever got near it. So it says how good he is.
It's not even just his assists, though. It's like some of the balls he plays out to start attacks and everything. He's just
He's on a different level to everyone else. He's on a definitely level. He's on a different level.
Cheers for that one.
Yeah,
but this is where it might get a bit controversial. I've gone Maddison and
a bit.
Grealish.
You know what? Before we start tearing you apart, give us your reasons behind Maddison.
Okay, I'll give you Grealish. I'll give you Grealish first. Grealish single-handedly kept Villa up. That team is rubbish. That team is absolute dog. And he single-handedly dragged them to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You got to give him props on that. He's the only one that ever done anything. Any sort of creativity, any sort of goals, he had a hand in it. All right, he might not have got the assist or goal himself, but he started the attacks. He's the only one who would get the ball, beat a couple men, and make something happen. If you ever watched Villa, the couple times I did watch Villa.
He's quality.
He was, and I got to say, if you're keeping your team up single-handedly by yourself, you got to get praise for that. And that's why I put him in there.
Are you making team best 11 because you kept a dead Villa up, really?
I think he's had a very good season. I think he's played very well. I think he's played very well. I didn't want to just make a team full of Liverpool and Man City players.
He's got 8 goals, which is not bad with all the help that he's got there. But I mean, he's not even close with assists. He's less than 5 assists, I think.
I think
7. 7 assists, I think.
See, and the thing is, sometimes it's not just about who gets the final pass. If you look at a lot of the things he does set up, he maybe like sets up the pass before or does a bit of magic to make that opportunity. Like I think
he's by far the best player in a Villa shirt. There's no denying that. When it comes to if you want to talk about creativity, like there are better options in the league than Grealish, 100%.
But have they had a better season? Have they had a better season?
I'd say David Silva's had a better season than Grealish.
Has he though?
I would agree with that.
I would say so, yeah.
Silva's
That's just one person.
Silva's only played 27 games, 10 assists, 6 goals.
Yeah, again, it's just statistics though. In a City team, you're always going to get more goals.
No, I hear that.
Because you've got much better players around you. Like, Grealish was in the City team. How many goals and assists would he get?
I hear that. Grealish.
You have to look at it like that.
They've slapped 80 million price tag on him today. Apparently.
I think he's a good player. I think well deserved. I think he's had a good season. And
was it?
Apart from the Champions League team.
Have they said 80 million? The thing is with Grealish, he can only really go to a top 4 team, and if he goes to a top 4 team, he's going on the bench.
Well, that was what my question was. Do you believe he's a top 4?
Tell me what top 4 team he's walking into as a starting player.
Well, for a start, you just said the man right there, David Silva. Isn't he leaving?
Yeah, but they've got Kevin De Bruyne, they've got Foden, they've got players that he's not going to replace.
You've got to remember that
Foden's 18, years old.
They've got Bernardo Silva.
Grealish is fundamentally a left winger, lads, as well.
Is he not better than Bernardo Silva?
He's not a midfielder.
Oh no, he's not better than Bernardo Silva.
I don't know.
No way.
I don't. You're saying no way, but I don't think he's far off him.
For me, Grealish is sick. He ain't worth £80 million. He ain't worth £80 million, and he's not walking in as a starting player to any top 4 team.
Do you know what that means now?
He's not a midfielder.
Huh? What's that, Joe?
He's not a midfielder either. He's a left winger.
Well, that's a whole other debate. I think he's a good creative player that can do that, but for me, he doesn't start for any of the top 4 teams.
Anyway,
he would be a good player off the bench, and he would get a lot of game time. I'm not saying that he is sick. He's a good player, but
I think we'll only know if he does move on and he moves up a level and he starts playing for a top 6 team, say, and then we can judge him better. At the minute, I just think this season, very good season.
I think Villa staying up, is going to be a problem for him moving on now, because if they went down,
and he was off,
they would have sold him for 50 million, and someone would have bought him for that. But you tell me, with what's going on at the moment, who is paying 80 million pounds for Jack Grealish?
I guarantee you, Man United will pay 80.
No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. They'll pay 40 million for Van der Beek.
I think they will.
They'll go.
If they don't get Sancho, which they might not.
I think you'll get Grealish. I reckon you'll get Grealish instead of Sancho.
I'd take Grealish, but for me, I'd rather pay anyways, Villa can value him at 80 million. They're not going to get 80 million. That would be 60, 65 million. But even that,
you got to think how much he's worth to Villa, though. He's worth that.
Ajax have said they will sell Van der Beek for 40 million, and Thomas Partey for 43 million from Atletico. There's other options out there.
Yeah, but they're different players, though.
Yeah, Partey and Grealish are completely different players, bro.
Van der Beek's not. Van der Beek can do what Grealish can do easily.
Van der Beek.
I haven't watched enough of him, to be fair.
Van der Beek, is he a winger?
No, he's
centre mid.
But he can do the creative thing. He can sit back. He's probably more.
That's what I'm trying to say. That Grealish is a left winger, lads. Have you not watched him all season? Grealish has played left wing the whole season.
I think he can play anywhere. He can play left wing, right wing, number 10. I think he's that good.
That's his position. He plays left wing.
If Man United buy him, they won't be buying him as a winger because they're going to buy Sancho.
Well, they shouldn't buy him then. They shouldn't buy him.
I don't think they should.
It makes no sense.
I don't think.
I'm going to buy the guy and put him up front.
They're going to buy Jack Grealish to play to take Bruno's place when they want to give Bruno a break. That's what Jack Grealish will do, bro. I'm telling you. That's what he's going to do.
That's an expensive bet.
That's what I'm trying to say. He ain't worth 80 million, and Villa staying up is going to potentially prevent his move, because no one ain't going to pay 80 million for him. No one ain't going to pay 70 million.
I don't think he'll get to a top 4 team, but
he won't.
The reason it costs 80 million...
He'd be great at Tottenham.
Yeah. He'd be good at Tottenham.
Good replacement for Eriksen.
That's arguably one team he would be a starter at.
And that's the definite team that will never pay 80 million for a player.
Exactly. No. What? Their record is like 50, 55 million for Ndombele. They're not going to pay 80 million for Grealish.
Well, we'll just have to see what happens after the transfer window.
Nonetheless, Grealish is a baller. He is a sick player. He's mad creative.
I can have the argument.
He did.
Yeah, there's an argument. I think there's definitely an argument there for him. Anyway,
more of an argument for him than your next player. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah, 100%.
My next player, Maddison. Right. Listen to my argument for Maddison now. Right. Before, when Maddison was playing and Leicester were on fire, and a lot of it was through him and what he was doing. He was a big player for them. They were third in the league. They were swiping teams aside. All of a sudden, he gets injured. He's out the team. They come back off the restart, and they don't look as good. They don't look nowhere near as good.
So out of your front three, before I even get to Maddison, out of your middle three, who is protecting that back two? There's just a whole lot of creativity there in that.
I think you're looking too much tactics, John. You just got to pick front 11. You got to pick an 11, innit? You ain't got to worry about.
Oh no, man! I've put a defensive midfielder in there.
You know why that is? Because you two have been used to watching Mourinho football at Chelsea and Man United, and that's why. Me and Joe are the playmakers, and we want to see that going.
Nah, for me, every team,
beautiful game.
Every team, you got to have someone that sits and does that work to allow your attacking players to go.
Tactics aside, I'll rely on my defence to do that business. I want my three midfielders to be creative, and I think Maddison has been up there as one of the best players again. And okay, maybe I'm a little bit biased because of the fact that he's English as well.
What is it about him that you rate?
6 goals, 3 assists.
3 assists. What is it about him?
I just think his general play is good. He's good on free kicks, good vision, puts himself about. I think he was Leicester's best player.
He's got that weird haircut.
I know you don't like stats, right? I know you don't like. I know you don't like stats, right? But I'm looking at just because you know what I can find a case for 10 out of your 11, right?
Yeah, so can I.
Goals per match 0.19, right? 74 shots, shooting accuracy 24%. It's
for me, Maddison's not
cross accuracy 27%.
Do you know what's mad? Talking about Bruno and talking about Maddison, Man United went and got Bruno because they backed out of a Maddison deal. I am so glad that they ended up with Bruno over James Maddison.
I think Maddison will go on to be a good player.
I think Maddison is a quality player. I just don't think he's deserved of this season's performance getting in there. Don't get it twisted. I definitely think that Maddison is quality enough to be in a season 11. I just don't think this season. That's my personal.
I agree. He's good. He's good.
That's fair enough. I thought we had a blinding season, to be fair, up to when he got injured and before the restart days. But
he's good.
That's the business end of the season, bro.
Yeah, but he was injured though. What can you do?
That's what I'm saying. So how, if he weren't there for the business end, how are you getting him in the team?
Yeah, but then I'm sure there's a few people that have got Bruno on their team. He's only been there half the season.
And he's done more than Maddison.
14 games, 7 assists, 8 goals.
You've got to be careful.
He's done more than Maddison.
John's future husband like that, man. Look how expensive he gets.
You idiot.
Anyway, all right, moving on.
We'll see.
Moving on from my midfield. I think up front, I think it speaks for itself. Aubameyang, obviously.
Yeah.
Arsenal's best player, hands down. If we didn't have him, where would we be? Vardy,
championship.
Vardy, top goal scorer, blinding season again, Golden Boot winner. Again, not much else to say. And Mane, I cannot believe, looking at you lot's teams, that none of you have Mane in the team.
Oh, I've got Mane.
Let me throw a stat at you lot, because you lot love a stat, yeah? Liverpool, Mane goals have won Liverpool 18 points this season. How many points did Liverpool win the league by?
18 points.
18 points.
100%.
So, yeah, if he weren't there, they'd still have joint top, so they don't need him.
No, listen.
I just can't believe that no one
Mane's
him.
No, you know what?
Mane's my favourite Liverpool player.
No, it was a toss of a coin. I'm not going to lie. For me,
I just feel like what he does, he's there. But I personally think he's their best striker. If it wasn't for Salah being so greedy, he probably would have another few goals on top of that, because he's been in better positions. And I just can't believe he didn't make your teams.
He definitely made mine.
You let everyone can argue their point.
And then
there's no argument with that top front three for me.
Nah, you can't go wrong really. Definitely the best front three. Big shout out. Do you know who I was very close to putting in there? And I know it was Joe. You did put him in. Danny Ings. Also the Wolves guy. I was very close to considering him as well. Two great players, had great seasons. So my manager of the season, Jurgen Klopp, brought him the first title in 30 years. Has to be.
I don't think anyone can argue that.
Has to be. 30 years they haven't won a title, and he bought it, and he done it in style as well. It weren't like he just scraped over the line. He done it in style. Best young player, TAA again.
Yeah, easy.
Easiest decision of this whole thing. Player of the year, Kevin De Bruyne.
Second for me, but there you go.
Player of the year, Kevin De Bruyne again. I don't think that was a hard decision.
Apparently
my goal of this. Well, apparently for people, I don't see how you can say Henderson. I know they won the league and that, but Henderson hasn't been a better player than Kevin this season individually. Close. Not even close. Goal of the season. As much as it pains me to say this being a Spurs bloody player, but I have to give it to the Sonny goal against Burnley when he runs the length of the pitch against about six, seven Burnley players and then tucks it away. I know long shots, they're great. Love them. Love to see them hit, but you don't. How many goals like that do you see?
But that goal got you on the edge of your seat for about 10 seconds before it went in. You're sitting there like,
is he going to get round it? Yeah, it was such a great goal. The pace, like to get past people and then still have enough to know when he's getting near and just tuck it away nice and easy. Great goal. Game of the season, 9-0. Less than 9. When do you ever see 9 professional football game and there's 9 goals for one team?
Especially in the top league as well.
That's crazy. That has to be goal of the season.
And the worst thing is Southampton aren't even the worst team.
No, that game turned their season around.
You know
that
what?
Game turned their season around.
It was definitely a contender for me, but the main reason I didn't put it not because of that. I didn't pick that game because it was just so one-sided. I like a game where there's like a bit of everything. Do you know what I mean? Back and forth, trying to win it.
I do.
I just like watching people get destroyed. And
that was the only reason. I mean, that 9-0 thrashing to me was definitely a contender, but.
That was like that meme, he's dead already. Like once they got to like 6 goals, it was literally like, oh man, like you felt sorry for him.
Bro, when does a team go out and 2 players score hat-tricks in the same game?
It was crazy. It's a crazy game. Yeah, it's a crazy game.
What's happening?
It reminds me of playing FIFA against Mark.
But yeah, overall, I reckon if I had that team with Jurgen Klopp as a manager, that's an easy title-winning team right there.
Well, compared to our other teams?
Not
get
many
relegated.
arguments. On that note, we'll move on to Marcus, eh?
All right.
Go.
All right.
You ready, Mark? Yeah.
I'm ready. Think you'll see. It's quite similar. But with a
Oh, is
much
it?
stronger midfield.
The midfield for me on your team, Tom. I'm not gonna lie. Grealish, I can accept. I think there's better, but I'll accept. I could even have someone like Son or Silva in there over Maddison though. Maddison for me is just not.
I
making
mean,
it.
straight away looking at this team, right? Okay, there's a lot of similarities. Same back four, same goalie,
Same back five.
But
Did
I
he have
mean,
Pope as
that's
your
the
goalie as well,
most
Tom?
ridiculous centre mid
Yeah.
call here I've ever seen.
This centre mid would win the Champions League.
Kante is a ridiculous call off the back.
Kante hasn't been one of the best 11 players this season.
Bro,
I had to pick a defensive midfielder because I'm like
So
John.
why pick Kante then?
Who's a better defensive midfielder than him this season?
Who I picked?
Bro,
Who
this
did you
ain't,
pick?
this ain't football manager.
Indeedy.
You ain't got to have a holder.
Indeedy. You got to, though. You got to have a bit of balance to it.
Indeedy, Fabinho.
Henderson.
Henderson
This season.
better than Kante.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'm
I
not
always
being
put
funny.
Chelsea player.
Henderson had a better season than Kante.
100%.
It was actually originally Kovacic, but I thought you guys would just shout so much. I was like, oh, fuck, I ain't having that bit.
I'd probably take Kov.
There ain't enough time in the day.
I'd probably take Kov over Kante this season. I'm not going to lie. He's been one of your better
You'd
players.
all have Kante in your team, innit? When Kante plays, when he's not been injured, it's just taking stop and start.
Oh, I'd sign him, yeah, but I don't think he's been one of the best 11 players this season.
No.
In his role, he's solid and he does his job. When he's not there, we start losing games again.
We'll go on and run through your team.
All right, Pope,
Yeah.
future England number one. Well, he should be current England number one
Agree.
compared to This is England.
Yeah.
Trent, I've got a theory that Trent at some point should just play midfield because he's just that good at football. Like just put him
I
in.
don't even think that's a
Better
theory.
going
I think that could be a reality.
Yeah,
He's better at going forward than defending, isn't he? Really?
he's very good. He's a half decent defender, but his crossing and stuff.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
ridiculous. His delivery,
So
his
world-class.
delivery is mental.
His
Yeah.
passing's great.
Yeah, his dead ball as well is just crazy, bro.
Plus, we've got enough
He's,
other right backs for England that we can do that.
Trent's defending stats ain't actually that impressive, but really, and
Imagine
truly,
Trent in front of.
he hasn't had to do that much defending.
Imagine
Nah.
Trent in front of Wan-Bissaka. Crazy.
Yeah, just imagine Trent trying to like pick
Oh,
up these
what, on
random
the wing, you
passes
mean?
just miles away from him.
Yeah. Aaron Wan-Bissaka behind Trent. That's
You know,
Is
Wan-Bissaka
Trent
made the most tackles of any defender in the Prem.
yeah, 129.
Yeah.
Also, do you know he made the least amount of passes to another teammate because they kept on missing?
And not only that, he was the most dispossessed defender in the Premiership. He got
Was
dispossessed
he?
44 times.
You say that he got the same amount of assists as Carl Walker, though. So anyone saying Carl Walker's one of the better right backs?
Carl Walker played about 7 games, didn't he?
I don't know. No, did he? I don't know how many games he
Yeah.
All I
played.
know is that
More than
the
7.
second that Wan-Bissaka gets the ball, as a United fan, I'd be nervous. Like,
Why?
Yeah, you're just praying that he passes to another red shirt, or if you're away, whatever the away colour is, because normally he doesn't.
I'm not going to doubt his defender. Anyway, Van Dijk, the best centre back in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hands down.
The second best centre back in the league is Laporte, but
He's been injured a lot of
he's
this
been
season.
injured the whole season. So you can't pick him. And then
Yeah, it's hard to get
Sunoku.
him.
Wait, I can never say
Soyuncu.
Just say it as it's spelt, mate. It's not that hard.
Soyuncu. Where's the H in that?
It's
Soyuncu,
one of the.
if we're gonna
He's
say
got a. He's
Accent.
Yeah.
You're
All right,
Zambian,
Soyuncu.
mate.
Soyuncu is a baller. He's sick. He's good on the ball, defends well. And once he went off, that's when Leicester proper dropped.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, completely agree.
Robertson,
Oh.
you can't pick anyone else.
No.
De Bruyne, you can't pick anyone else.
No.
Kante, you can't pick anyone else. He's the
Yeah,
best
you can.
defensive midfielder
You
in the
can.
league. Don't worry about that. We'll go on to the next one. Don't worry. You keep your opinions. They're all wrong.
We will.
All right. Fernandes, it hurts, but he changed United, didn't it? You can't not see the point that he comes.
You can talk
And
about
then all
your
of a
penalty.
sudden, like, they've got a designated penalty taken out. There's no more arguments. He just does it and he scores them. So Manchester United have their
That
advantage.
annoying
Okay.
little fucking Billy Elliot jump he does.
Yeah.
Mad every
I know.
time.
He copied that of Jorginho. But
He did copy that after Jorginho. The only thing I'd say about him is, and the thing is, I haven't watched a lot of Man United since he's come. I'm basing it off the game that I watched the other day against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and he was shocking.
It was terrible. He had a
shocking.
bad game.
He's been pretty bad for the last couple of weeks.
But I mean, let's be fair. The geezer's made 14 appearances, 8 goals, 7 assists. There's not much argument.
And he
And
plays
how many of them
all
goals
the
were
time.
penalties?
What difference does it make with VAR? What difference does it make?
What if they're
VAR
penalties? 'Cause it's
Even if
padded,
they
innit?
weren't penalties, his goals have been good, man. He scored good quality goals, good quality
Bro,
assists.
Jack Grealish takes all the penalties for Villa. I don't know how many penalties they've had this season, but he's only scored one
None,
penalty.
because they're not Manchester United. They don't get one for no reason.
Listen, with VAR, I'm not hearing none of this penalty talk anymore because
Listen,
it just goes.
VAR has been United's best signing this season. Be nice.
Innit? That's who you should have put in your midfield, not Fernandes. You should have put VAR.
V as one, A as the other, and R as the third, isn't it? No, for me, Fernandes has to be in the team. I don't care. It's not even that. Again,
he's up there.
How he
didn't quite
lifted
make it.
United.
That's what I put him in for. I put him into the lift more than anything.
Let me ask you a question then, Mark. Why I can't see your future Ballon d'Or winner anywhere in that team?
Yeah. What's going on?
Well,
There's the craziest player of 2020.
I wasn't allowed substitutes, and he didn't do enough over the course of the season because of injuries and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm build up. Trust me, next season he'll be there with his Ballon d'Or.
He pretty much secured Liverpool the title this season, didn't he? When you played Man City behind closed doors, that goal he scored was and the clearance off the line. He should have had 2 really, but yeah, he is a baller. He is good, but he ain't Ballon d'Or, that's for sure.
Don't worry about it.
That's outrageous.
That is outrageous.
Innit? You crazy.
Don't let me start going to UEFA conspiracy theories about how they hold Chelsea back.
It's like Arsenal and referees, isn't it? Really, all over
You've
again.
got to start touching up 12-year-olds and you won't get transferred, man. You'll be all right.
Front 3.
Let's go. Abu, the ultimate stat padder, but he does it so well he made the team.
Yeah.
How can you put him in your team and then deliver that hate to go with it? Like, come on. Like, give the man his dues.
He stat padded himself into my team. Like, I've got to give him that credit.
He made everyone's team, to be fair.
Yeah.
He had to, really.
I mean, there's no argument, is there?
Vardy, golden boot.
Yeah.
Great player. I'm not ever going to argue with that.
Yeah.
And then, like Tom said, Mane, the best player at Liverpool in my eyes.
No arguments with that, neither, for me.
Yeah.
That's a good front 3.
So you basically copied my team and then just changed the midfield a little bit.
I made your midfield better. That's what I did. Manager, Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
Where did they finish in? Like 7th?
Over Klopp.
Yeah, 100%.
They finished 9th and...
They finished 9th.
Are you sure about that?
I
He done
agree with
very,
him.
very well.
I
He
agree
done
with
very,
him.
very
Listen,
well.
they signed no players. When I saw them play us, they destroyed us. Like, that was a proper, well-run team.
We destroyed you as well, mate. It's not that
We
hard.
destroyed you as well. First game of the season.
Oh, did you? So why aren't you in the FA Cup final then, mate?
Well, you beat us then, but
Yeah. There you go. So chill
We
out.
beat you by more goals.
Only
than you beat us.
as good as your last game. Only as good as your last game.
Alright,
Remember
fair
that
enough,
one.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Fair enough.
The thing is, I can hear the Chris Wilde argument, but I just feel like
Yeah, Klopp,
he's second for me. Definitely second. But
The thing is, for me, right, I mean, I know I'm jumping in on your argument here, Mark, but I've actually... it's me and you versus John and Tom on this argument, so I'm going to come in and defend
That's
you.
right.
The reason for me that Wilder got the nod is, yes, Klopp has done what no one's done at Liverpool for 30 years, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's great. But he very nearly did that last season. Very few points to make the change. The reason that Wilder got the nod over Klopp is it was almost expected of Liverpool to be challenging this season. Yeah, no one expected them to win it by 18 points. But the squad that they had assembled last season is the same squad that they have played with this season and probably exceeded expectations, yeah. Whereas Chris Wilder came up with a bunch of pretty unknown, bang average players,
Championship
made them
League One
into
players.
an unbelievable unit, made Championship players into Premiership players. And I don't know how much Sheffield you've watched this season, but the more I watched them, the more impressed I was with them. I wasn't completely blown away, but they did everything right. And I think that doesn't come down to individuals. That comes down to man management and tactics.
Definitely.
You know, when you've got players like Mane, like Salah, doing their bit on their own, do you know what I mean?
It makes your job easier.
It doesn't take that much management to make them players go out. You just say, go out there and do your thing. Wilder worked on the whole team, and that's the reason for me. He got the nod for me.
No, he got results against. He got a result against us. He got results against. Arsenal? What did he get against Arsenal?
I can't remember. I remember
think
we
they
beat him
drew.
in the cup. We beat him in the cup recently. That was the most recent one.
But I
But
mean,
they play good football as
ridiculous.
well. It's not like it's like
No.
again, I like Daesh, but it's not like they play like Burnley style football. They play nice football when you watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
a bit more expansive.
Players that were relatively unknown last season have become, Premiership. I mean, I don't know anyone that played FPL that didn't have Lundstrom in the team.
Yeah, he had to be.
Yeah,
I had Lundstrom and Baldock.
Yeah, Bulldog.
That's it.
John Egan, he's a centre back.
John Egan, quality player. Ollie McBurney up front, I thought put a shift in every game.
Oh man, have you seen him winding up? I know it's not there, but have you seen him winding up the Cardiff fans?
When he was in the crowd and he's Stoney, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Stoney going. And then when they lost the final, it's like, that's a good result for Cardiff there, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. He's assembled a group of characters and a group of footballers, and I think that's why, for me, I think it's very, very easy to pick Klopp, and I don't think it's something that you can dismiss out of hand, obviously, because of how well they won the league. But for me, I just gave him the nod. It was 51-49 for me. Yeah,
Klopp would have been second for me. But
yeah, easy. It's not even close.
Yeah. And then everyone else is far behind.
Yeah, and then it's Lampard.
Fair.
Player of the year, KDB. I'm not going into that. It's covered.
Yeah.
Goal of the season, Ayew versus West Ham. 90th minute. It's got the spin. It's got a little bit like a little dummy. It's got a little dummy, and then it's got a dink at the end, and it's like, it's got everything. And it's against West Ham.
And
you get an extra bonus point for that.
And the fact it was 90th minute as well, winner.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just, and you know what? Again, I think it's used to have both said Son, and me and Mark have agreed on Ayew again, and I just think, yes, that Son goal was good, but it was raw pace versus just magic.
No, but come on, man. I don't
magic.
know.
I'm not arguing with Son's goal being first or second. I'm not.
It is a toss-up. It's a toss-up.
It was just. I mean, if you go back and watch it again, I watched these all this morning, just to make sure that because I think KDB's was up there. The chest and volley against Newcastle.
The way he hit that was
great
just
strike.
Just reminded me of something.
But when I watched Ayew's goal, and my heart sunk a little bit more every time. I watched it about 7 times. It was just ridiculous.
No, it's a silly goal.
To dink the goalie at the end as well. After if I'd have done that through 3-4 defenders, I'd have put my laces through that so hard to make sure it went in after doing all that. To have the level head,
the composure in it, yeah.
To dink it after, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, I agree. I last night was this close to picking that goal, but I picked Son. I must say, it was a close call though.
I did like Jody. I watched them all through today. I was like, no, it's got to be that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it? I've always preferred I prefer skillful goal compared to just a lumping it from 30 yards.
He just turned into Messi, bro. He just turned into Messi.
He's a good player.
I don't know what they gave him at half time. Mate, I mean, we said this in the previous pod. I think he's done an exceptional job there. He wasn't expecting. He was like maybe third choice striker for them, and to bang 10 goals in a season for a bang average side.
I think he won their player of the season as well. I saw.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Game of the season. Probably a little bit of recency bias to this, because with last one, but Liverpool 5, Chelsea 3.
Yeah.
I listened to the game of the season where your team got beaten.
Yeah, it was a good game, though.
I rate that.
That was a good game.
It was a good game, innit?
Any game with 8 goals in it is a game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a good game, but it was a bit of a nothing game.
Nothing was riding on it, really. It was there.
Well,
it was a good game.
Chelsea was riding on it, but like I said, there was a bit of recency in there. Because I was just, just thinking about games like that. I haven't forgot about the 9-0. I only remembered it when you guys put it up.
I mean, it's personal preference, isn't it? You're going to have a Chelsea game in there more stuck in your mind than.
And it was probably one of the last games I watched, and it was a good one, so it's going to just stick in there a bit.
I didn't even watch that game. I remember I was doing something and I had it on, the commentary on, and I was thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, these just goals going in left, right, and centre here. What's going on?
Well, it looked like Chelsea was out of it.
It looked, yeah. Future Ballon d'Or nearly got a double on that one, man.
Nearly got a double.
The only one I would
arguments for all of them. But Kante gets a boot in the ear on.
Yeah, he's out of there. He's out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone's picking Maddison. They're chucking out Kante.
Yeah, to be fair, Kante probably gets there over Maddison for me.
I agree on that one. Yeah, definitely.
You lot are just Maddison haters.
No, look, mate. The worst thing is, when he was at Norwich. Was it Norwich he was at?
Yeah.
He was linked with West Ham for 2 seasons.
Yeah, Norwich. Yeah, he wasn't.
And I was like, yeah. And there's this geezer I follow on Twitter who pretty much gets every West Ham signing right, and he kept talking it up. And
it's not his son again, is it?
No, God.
It's not his son releasing.
They fully dropped him from doing that. They were like, you can't do that no more.
Yeah, obviously not.
Put up and shut up. On to John's team.
Here we go.
Looks like a very familiar back
Did you three do your back line in bed?
Yeah.
When you was all topping and tailing, or what? What's going on?
Well,
that just shows they're the best 11. That's their best defenders this season. If three of us agree.
John Egan could have maybe gone in above Soyuncu, arguably.
Yeah. I'll throw out a name then quickly. I would have said above John Egan. I would have said the Wolves guy, Connor Cody. Great season.
Connor Cody, yeah. He can ping a pass as well.
Great season.
Yeah, he can play a good pass. Back four, I'm not even going to go into because we've gone through it 3 times already. But
you've got to defend Henderson.
Henderson?
Yeah,
you're goalie.
Yeah. Henderson. I will defend Henderson. Well, he's conceded less goals than Pope for a start. I mean, you want your goalkeeper to stop shots going in.
2 less clean sheets.
Yeah. 2 less clean sheets, has he? All right. Well, listen, Pope was a close number 2. For me, it was out of Alisson and Henderson. But I thought Henderson because
he close number 3 then.
He done it in I had Kasper Schmeichel in there. I had a few of them. But for me, I
like Kasper.
Yeah. I just put Henderson over Pope because I just prefer him and he's, I don't know. And
it's a nice way to sneak an extra United player in there, isn't it?
Well, a little bit. But for me, he is, though. He is. 13 clean sheets isn't bad.
Would you have him over De Gea next season?
Same amount as De Gea, funny enough.
Yeah, I would argue. It's an argument to be had, isn't it?
De Gea was 13
the thing is with De Gea, yeah. The thing is in De Gea, when do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean? Now it's at the end of the season. It's probably the time to do it. You don't do it with like 3 games left because that's just even more of a confidence.
I'll tell you where you draw the line. You draw the line when he threw that one in that when Mason Mann back past him and he threw it in the goal.
He had a
FA Cup semi-final.
A few of them. I see him get.
That was where the line had to be drawn.
Who did he get? Who was it they played when they megsed? When Maguire got megs and then he got beat at his near post. Yeah. He had the flimsy.
That was recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, yeah. He had the flimsy hand the other day against Mount, I think it was. Listen, he's had a few mistakes in him, and that's why he's not even in the debate for me. But I just went for Henderson. I think he's a good goalie. I think
Henderson over Pope for England, do you?
It's a toss-up again. It's like Henderson. I wouldn't be disappointed if Southgate picked Henderson or Pope. I think they're both really good goalies. Do you know what I mean?
Just as long as it's not Pickford.
And I put Henderson in above Alisson and Ederson because I think they done it like with the argument we've been having. Henderson done it at Sheffield United. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm not back four. I won't bother with, and then midfield I went De Bruyne, Fernandes, and then to sit I put in Ndidi because for me, I just think he's one of their best defensive midfielders in the league. Like who's better than him?
Most tackles in the league for a midfielder.
Most tackles made. What else have I got on him? I've got a few things. His interceptions are crazy. His most forward passes, most aerial battles won. For me, I was thinking tactical, and I'm thinking who I want to sit. When I've got Kevin De Bruyne and I've got Fernandes, they're gonna go forward. You need someone to sit in there, and for me, Ndidi is the man that's gonna do that job. Like you can't. He's the best. He's the best at it for me. And then front three, I went Aubameyang. Again, no argument. Vardy, Golden Boot. And I only picked Sterling. It was Mane or Sterling. I picked Sterling because, one, I think, Mane is just as good. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. But for me, Sterling he's a little bit more of a goal threat and he's more likely to win you a penalty or I don't know what it is. But it was a toss-up and I wanted to have a little bit of variation and not just have a whole, a majority of a Liverpool majority of Liverpool players. So I just went for Sterling.
I agree with Sterling to an extent, but this is personal opinion, and you can argue with it. But I just feel like he picks up a lot of tap-ins off of these other quality players.
But he never used to do that, though.
You know what I mean? It comes back off the goalie, and he's just there, and I know that's positioning.
Yeah, you've got to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, no, exactly. I get that.
That's why he scored more goals than Sadio. Sadio Mane made more goals, but
one
Sterling
more,
scored
I think.
more goals. Yeah. And for me, that front three there is just pace. It's just everything I want. It's goals, it's pace. And like I say, it's no disrespect to Mane. I'm not saying Mane, I had him on there and I took him off and thought, I'm going to put Sterling to just a little bit more variation. It wasn't that I think Sterling's better than Mane.
I can definitely hear a Sterling argument, but like I said, I just had to go with Mane just because they won the league and he was a crucial part in that. And his goals were big goals that won games.
Yeah,
he was.
And won them points.
And then for me as well, like Bruno Fernandes, you say about he's only been here half a season. He's got the most Player of the Month awards this season, and he's only been there since January. That's a stat. That's a good stat as opposed to just his penalty stat. And Ndidi, you want to know who's better than Kante? And Ndidi's better than Kante.
No, I'll hear that. I won't hear Player of the Month as a stat for Fernandes being a great player.
Well, if he goes out and gets 2 Player of the Month awards, and who
David Silva only won like 1 Player of the Month in his whole career. It doesn't mean like he's not a great player.
Who picks Player of the Month? Alex Ferguson?
I don't know. You'll have to talk about it. I don't know. You'd probably have us believe Alex Ferguson did. Anything to do with Man United is Alex Ferguson in the VAR room or something. I don't know. But Manager of the Month, Jurgen Klopp. Again.
Agree. We've had this debate.
Yeah, we've had that.
You know what? My Young Player of the Year, I should have picked Trent. I'm gonna hold my hands up. I should have picked Trent.
But because Trent's played so much, you picked someone who's fresh.
That was my argument. I just didn't even think of Trent. I didn't even think of him. I just thought of...
You don't see him as a young player.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. That's exactly what my argument was.
I don't know what it was. Because when I see your guys and I see Trent on there and I thought to myself, shit, how could I even not think of him? He is a young player and he's the
well-established Premiership player. Now.
Exactly. He's been doing it.
But he's still only 20, is he?
Yeah,
21
scary.
Oh, he's 21.
Scary.
Yeah, he's 21. Yeah. So he's still a young player, isn't he?
Yeah,
so for me,
he's without a doubt in that category.
So for me, I'm not going to backtrack. I went Mason Greenwood, and I think he's definitely had a good season. Young player, he's in there for me.
Yeah,
can I just say, while we're on young players, honourable mention out to Saka.
Yeah,
he's been one of our best players this season. If you watch Arsenal regularly, every Arsenal fan will tell you.
Somehow.
No, he did. He has
been in there, isn't it?
This is a team of the season, mate. Get out of here.
If you was doing a young player team of the season, he would be in there.
Mamadou Sakho in there before him.
See, the thing
he's been good for
Mason
Arsenal.
Greenwood would start for probably 80% of Premier League teams, so he's got to go. For me, I won't backtrack. Like I said, I probably should have put Trent. But
Hold on, 80%. So that means there's only 4 teams he wouldn't start for.
I reckon he'd start for most teams in the league. Yeah, definitely. I think he would.
I think I can name you more than 4 teams.
He'd start for Arsenal. He'd start above Pepe. That's for sure.
I'm not having
Pepe is trash.
I think I'd start above Pepe.
Yeah, exactly. I think no one would start above Pepe. I said Tim Manor.
Well, you said earlier, you're signing, or United might be signing Sancho. Don't he play in the same position as Greenwood?
Where does that put Greenwood?
But the thing is, it's depth, innit?
Sancho depth, but it's depth where Greenwood gets dropped down in the pool.
But listen, we'll be playing 55, 60 games next season. You need to have quality coming off the bench.
60 games? Do you think you'll get into a Champions League final?
Well, that's why I said 55, 60. I'll tell you what, you won't be getting into a Champions League final. You won't be getting into a Champions League knockout stage. You won't be getting into anything. So what you're telling me?
You're telling me you bench Greenwood for
probably to start Sancho. But all right. So you're telling me Dan James coming off the bench is good enough?
No, I'm not doubting that. But
that's my argument.
Mason Greenwood as a sub seems like you're just going to be stifling his ability.
No, he won't. No, there'll be plenty of games for him to start.
How old is he? He's like 20.
Very young, man.
He's young. Yeah. He could have a season as like a sub, being in and out.
playing the FA Cup, playing the League Cup, playing. There'll be plenty to play when.
Would you not consider if they said, all right, go on loan to like a mid-table and start every week? You wouldn't consider it?
No, I want him in the team because I think he's valuable and I think he offers a lot. Like that's what I mean. He wouldn't be like a. For me, Mason Greenwood would be part of the rotation. He'd be starting. He'd be on the bench. He'd be switching out.
Am I incorrect in saying that he's actually a centre forward?
He is a centre forward, yeah.
His chosen position is centre forward, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for the youth team, he did go through the middle, yeah. But that's what I mean. He can go on the other side. He can go on the left. He can go on the right.
Yeah. He's versatile.
He is two-footed, like proper two-footed as well.
Yeah.
So for me, he offers a lot, and you do need depth, and that's why Man United are talking about Grealish and everything else because they've got players that can do what he can do. But look at their bench, though.
At the end of the day, you look at the teams like City. You need to have world-class players.
Exactly. That's it.
It's just who's going to come and be okay with that. That's my issue.
Sancho probably would start the big games and the more important games, but I don't think that would mean that Mason Greenwood would lack football. Yeah. I still think he'd play plenty, to be honest. I reckon anyway. Yeah. And so yeah, he's my young player of the year. Player of the year, KDB. I don't think there's an argument to be had there. Goal of the season, Sonny Boy against Burnley. I mean, I haven't seen a goal like that since Giggsy against Arsenal in the FA Cup semi.
Since the last time you played on a Thursday night, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, it was a hard choice. Ayew's goal. I like Vardy's lob. I like De Bruyne's crossbar against Newcastle. There was a few goals in there that was contenders. Game of the season, I went Wolves City 3-2 because it was just one of them crazy games. They were sending off
good game.
Penalties, retake penalties. There was just everything. Wolves from coming behind to winning the game. It was just one of those games you just didn't know what was ever going to happen with it. So, and
Traore as well.
Traore scored a good goal in that game.
Who, if we was allowed subs, would have definitely been on my subs bench.
He definitely honourable mention again.
Honourable mention for Traore.
Mendy in that game as well. Benjamin Mendy was trying to let it go out, and he just said, "Give me that," and set up Jimenez.
If we're talking flops of the season quickly, Mendy has been a flop.
Yeah,
how much they paid for him?
No, I don't know, man. I think he's a good player.
I think he gets injured too much.
Yeah, I think he's made out of glass, but I think he's
I think he's stupid as well.
Well, Traore put him in the stands anyway.
Yeah, but Traore put most people in the stands though.
Yeah. I think he's got all four of us in the stands together.
Bro. He's a tank. And obviously, see Man City get one over, get turned over by Wolves is always going to be fun for me.
Yeah.
So that was my game of the season, man.
Not too many arguments there.
Nah.
I disagree with the Sterling. That's that.
Yeah.
I don't think Sterling makes the 11 for me. I definitely.
I hear Ndidi way more than I hear
see your argument, but he don't. For me personally, he don't make it.
Oh yeah, and the young players, as good as Greenwood's been, you can't look past Trent. That was just your United. Yeah. That was just your United bias coming.
No, it wasn't even that. It was what I just looked past Trent because he's established. He's been doing it for 2 seasons now. He's won the champs. He's won the league. He didn't even enter my train of thought at the time. That's what it was. In hindsight, I would have picked Trent.
Yeah, fair. Right, we're on to the last. And on that note, seeing as we were bypassing Trent, I think there's going to be no argument for my young player of the season, but we'll get into that.
Can already see who it's going to be. The most overrated English centre midfielder of all time.
You're begging to come to your team, but we're not going to get into that. Right, before we start, obviously, well, not before, but now, the goalie is going to be contentious. I get that.
It is cruel.
It is contentious.
Right. Okay. And again, we're going off stats, right? Who do you think made the most saves in the whole of the Premiership?
I'm going to take a guess. It's Tim Krul.
No, it's not. He's second. But
was it Leno?
Nah, he was fourth. I'll give you fourth and third. Well, second as well. So Leno was 113, Pope 120, Tim Krul 132, and the most saves in the league was made by a goalie with 140 saves.
Pope?
No,
it's Pope already. I'm gonna say.
He does not come to mind. I'm not going to lie to you. You might not even know that he's the goalie.
Is it the
goalie?
Oh, Newcastle goalie. Oh, I was going to say Crystal Palace's one. Goita. He's pretty good.
I mean, for me,
who was it?
There's the Bravka.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
You know what, right? I think if you look at the goals conceded by Norwich this season, and
there was a lot.
And a very, very bad defence. And yes, they've gone down. And yes, this is probably a stupid argument, but I was just trying to put a couple of talking points in there. And I was just going through stats. He's second for punches made out the area. He's third for higher claims. Joint top for penalties saved. Third for most saves. I mean, he's just a good goalkeeper.
Can I just say something though?
Go on.
I want my goalie to have the least amount of saves, the least amount of punches. The only reason he has top of all these stats is because Norwich is terrible.
But does that make him the best goalkeeper if he doesn't have to make saves?
No, it makes him the busiest goalie.
Yeah, but if the busiest goalie makes the most saves, he could have. Their team would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for Tim Krul. That's my argument.
Yeah, give them Kepa, and there would have been a negative points.
They'd have been relegated by August.
They would have been relegated before the break.
I know it was a road call, but whenever I watch it,
it's a bit ropey.
I've always liked a maverick goalie. I've always liked him to have a personality and to be a little bit of a nutcase, and I think he ticks all them boxes. And then when I saw his stats, I definitely think there's an argument. Obviously, you are going to disagree with that, but I mean, you look at Edison. Yeah, he's the Golden Glove. Great, you keep clean sheets, but
you played for City.
You've got £250 million worth of defenders in front of you.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping clean sheets, someone's doing something wrong.
Well, that's why I went for Pope.
And Edison has a mistake in him as well, man. He does dumb shit sometimes. Yeah. Like, he does that. Like the game I'm talking about with Wolves, the sending off. He just does.
His footwork is unbelievable, though, for a goalie.
He's good with the ball that he's
well, go and play in defence then, isn't it? I don't want to see that. I want my goalie to use his hands, not his feet. Yeah.
But just say about every player.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a contentious one, and I know I'll put that in there, but I just like him. I don't know why I like him. Anyway, moving swiftly on from that. I mean, there's three of the back four have not been argued because we've all had the three of them. For me, the last position was contentious. I can see your points with Sionku, but for me, for a young player establishing themselves in a championship winning team, I just think Joe Gomez is mustard.
He's very good.
It's not only his defending ability, which I think is second to none, but the ball with his feet. I watched a video as well. I can't remember who it was on YouTube, where they go to the Liverpool training ground, and he's there with Trent, he's there with Hendo, Salah, all taking free kicks, and they've got like the little targets in the goal.
Yeah, where the corners are cut out.
Yeah, mate, don't miss. The kid don't miss, and you've got to think how old's Gomez?
No idea.
No older than 21. He's younger 20s. Than Arnold.
Yeah,
like he's super young and massive, like grown head on him. And he did lose his head in a game that I remember earlier in the season, and I think they hauled him off because he looked like.
I think that wasn't that little thing him and Sterling had.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
so they came over to England.
But I mean, that comes to a youngster, and I just think he's been exemplary. I just think he definitely.
I can hear the Gomez argument.
Yeah, next to Van Dijk is definitely beneficial for him as well. In a good.
Yeah, we don't know if it's him making Van Dijk look good though. Do you know what I mean?
Right, it's coming home, lads.
He's 23.
Moving on to midfield.
He's 23, so he's older than Trent.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's crazy to think of that. But
he's still young though.
He's still young.
For a centre back, that's really young still.
And like I said before, Trent is an established Premiership player. Gomez has been thrust into the team. He's managed to get ahead of the greatest defender in the world, in his own words, Dejan Lovren.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty impressive. But couple of debatable ones there. But one debatable one in the midfield. Again, I know you're going to argue with. He's not even mentioned in the other three teams.
No, but I had him written down. He was a contender. Yeah, he was a contender.
The geezer's mustard. And another one who could have made it for me. He just didn't play enough this season. Again for Man City is Gundogan. Them two
No,
players.
I'm not having Gundogan.
I'm not having either of them.
No, not for team of the season. Not for team of the season. But are you telling me you don't rate Gundogan?
No, I don't.
Pep calls
you
on.
Don't rate Gundogan.
I don't rate Gundogan.
You put Kante in the team.
I just don't rate Gundogan. How can you not rate Kovacic, but you rate Gundogan? Gundogan's a worse version of him.
Oh my days.
Pep calls on Gundogan for all of the big games.
Bruv, Gundogan is an
that's only because Fernandinho's an OAP now.
Certified baller. Left foot, right foot, baller.
No.
For me, Rodri
I'm not having Gundogan. I couldn't have Chelsea.
Kovacic couldn't lace his boots, mate.
Well, you couldn't have Kovacic's books.
No, I'm not even having this argument. You're a moron.
No, man, you're an idiot.
I had Rodri in a debate. I'm not going to lie.
Rodri, just to back up my thing.
No, I'm not Rodri. I'm having Gundogan though.
No, but I'll pull you back. If this keeps going, I'll pull you back on this next season. I'll pull you back.
Let's go.
All right, leave it there.
I'll pull you back when I get my Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I'll pull my trousers down when you get the Ballon d'Or. Rodri, most passes completed in the Premier League. Also, one of the most tackles in the league. 2,579 passes, 2,916 tackles. I mean, I don't know what you lads want your midfielders to do, but I want them to pass and tackle. And at the end of the day, if he's doing that and you wanted someone in a holding position, he does everything for me. I think he's solid. He's good in the air. He can score goals. He scored an absolute banger that was up there in the highlight reel for goals of the season as well, where he caught it on a half volley from the edge of the box.
Oh yeah.
And, he's no frills. He's not gonna pirouette round someone and over a kick it over people. But for me, he's just a solid quality centre midfielder, pretty similar to Gundogan. Moving on to the forwards, again, two non-arguments. Aubameyang, team on his back for the entire season. He's going to have back surgery in the summer. Vardy's just Vardy, gets better with age. And
Vardy's like fine wine, isn't it? I'm
not going to argue with Ings. Ings is a great
You can't argue with Ings. I mean, look who he's playing with, mate.
The only reason I wouldn't put him in, what is he, like 22 goals as well? It's where he got the same as Aubameyang.
22
he
goals.
did.
Yeah, he got the same as Aubameyang.
The only reason I didn't put him in there is because for me, he lacks the pace like Sterling and Sane and Sadio Mane.
But it's not all about pace.
No, it's not all about pace at all. You're right. But for me, Ings, like, he's got to be the number 9. He can't play. He offers more as a number 9 than he does cutting in from the wings or out wide. Like Aubameyang's a number 9, but Aubameyang's got the pace and he can play on the left or on the right. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, though,
don't get me wrong. Ings has had a fucking blinding season. He is the nuts, but
for me, he's a centre forward who does exactly what it says on the tin.
He is.
Give him the ball, he'll create a bit of space, and he'll tuck it left foot, right foot. 13 goals to the right, 8 goals to the left. You can't ask for more. He's no nonsense, and he knows how to find the corner of a net.
He was my first sub, Ings. 100% my first sub.
I had him on my list as well. I did have him on my list, but I just think to myself, if I had Ings, he'd be where Vardy was. And for me, Vardy, that's what I'm basically trying to say.
I think it's very easy to put City and Liverpool players in this team. To me, it's not hard to find an argument for all of them. But I've looked for some players that have done it
at smaller clubs.
Yeah, like KRUL and like Ings, and I think Ings has done it all on his own. He's not got quality service there.
Hold on, you lot hated on my Grealish and Maddison. That's basically exactly what I was saying.
No, because Ings is actually a good player.
Grealish hasn't scored 22 goals.
Innit?
But I don't know. I just think he's played too much out of his skin to not make the 11 for me.
He's definitely one of the better goal scorers of the season. There's no arguing.
And if I actually I watched all 22 of his goals today, and there's no sort of goal against don't score, except for headers. Didn't score a header goal all season.
I can see the Ings argument definitely, but then I see the point of what John was making. I think for balance, I don't think you can play Ings left
That's
wing.
what it is. That's what
No,
it is.
I'm not going to lie to you, lads. I weren't doing positions. I was doing
You weren't playing Football Manager, are you?
No. I was just doing the 11 best players in my opinion this season.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you're looking at a winger, then yeah, probably Salah or Mane for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of being a forward, I just think that he had to get in there. We've had the argument, obviously, 2v2 for Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
This one's obviously a little bit biased, but
just a touch.
You know what? Trent is the shoe-in. I get it, but like I said before, he is an established player, second in most tackles made in the Premiership for a young midfielder, and let's be honest, he's covering up a lot of patches in a very, very ropey back four at West Ham, and he's done it with his head held high. He has been unbelievable for us this season. Hopefully, not going to want to use 3 next season, and hopefully he's going to be our captain next season. But for me,
I think he should stay at West Ham for another season.
I can't see why they don't give him the armband, give him 2 years, see where we can get us, and then he will get the guard of honour out of the London Stadium. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to begrudge him if he stays and pushes on for a couple of seasons. Even if he goes at 23, it'd be.
Does he do the guard of honour or does he do a lap of the track? Which one does he do?
We're moving the seat forward from tomorrow, mate, so you can only run half the track.
Are they?
Yeah, they're moving it forward behind the goals to try and bring the atmosphere in. But you got to.
Well, that makes sense.
You got to worry about the half a mile of air in between the top and bottom tiers. Have any of you been over there?
I've been over there once.
Have you seen the gap between the top tier and the bottom tier?
Yeah, I did go over there, but when they moved
no man's land.
I went over there for a while, to be honest. But the atmosphere was definitely not Upton Park. It was not the same.
It's terrible.
Nah.
And the thing is, you know what it is? They've not kept. Where you had the Bobby Moore stand, you had the core fanatics in certain things. They split them all up. So now you go over there, you got Tracy and Dave and their 3 teenage kids, and then you've got 4 complete morons up there calling everyone under the sun.
Then you've got Joe and his mates, isn't it?
Well, then you've got obviously the gentrified people that have come up from Forest Gate, old Tarquin and Susan. Sat next to them while they're calling them everything under the sun. It's just terrible over there, mate. I really don't know. And that's the one thing I must say about Spurs is I'm extremely envious of their new stadium.
They did it properly, Spurs.
I hate Spurs. They built a football stadium. They ain't tried to make something into something it's not. We're trying to make an Olympic stadium into a football stadium. And it's just not worked. But going back to the point, for me, Declan's the boy. I absolutely love him. I mean, even to the fact where he's not captain, but he's up there with the press after every game talking on behalf of the team. You know, he's doing Noble's job for him. And I love Noble. He's a great servant of the team, but I think this is time for him to pass the baton and let someone who, let's be honest, he's just better than him.
He's getting on as well, isn't he? Noble.
Yeah, he's been great. And I mean, Moyes played him attacking midfield for the last few games, which is...
What, and you've been scoring goals left, right, and centre. He stays in up.
I know. Yeah. I'll play him now. I just can't have him protecting the back line. But I can talk about how crap West Ham are for 3 hours. So we'll move on. KDB, no argument. Well, we've had the argument for Jordan Ayew, and we've had the argument for Leicester. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Any people that you'd like to add that you think were missed?
No.
I wanted to give like a little. I feel bad for no one for Sheffield making my defence, but it's just because they were a solid unit, but they didn't have like a standout guy in there.
I did have Joe on my centre back list, and I had Ben Chilwell on my left back list. Mm-hmm. But obviously Robertson and Soyuncu definitely made the cut.
I hate to say it, but I did have one. I had Leno.
Go on, let's all laugh at Mark. Who did you have, Mark?
No, I had Leno as like my backup goalkeeper, innit?
He's had a good season.
Leno's had a good season, man.
I just had to say that out loud, though.
Do you know what? Leno, thank God for Leno. That's all I can say because Leno has played blinding.
Imagine
blinding.
Arsenal without Leno and without Aubameyang this season.
Oh, we'd be where West Ham was. We'd be where West Ham was. We'd be
You'd be where Norwich was.
Oh, I had shout out to Ben Mee as well. I think he had a good season with
good
Burnley.
player. Yeah, good player. Chris
Good
Wood
player.
as well. Chris Wood just spanks goals. He's boring. And Jay Rodriguez, great goals.
Yeah.
Jay Rodriguez scores goals. He's a quality player.
Yeah.
I like Burnley.
Don't like him?
No, I mean I like Burnley. I've got a soft spot for anti-football, innit?
I had Fabinho
just come
in
up there and be
there.
pricks to everyone and kick them. Like, it's lovely. It's how it should be.
I had Fabinho in there in the centre mid.
Yeah, Fabinho's can definitely.
And Didi edged it for me, to be honest.
And Didi's good. I like a few Leicester players, mate. I like Damari Gray. I think he could be a good player. I think Harvey Barnes is quality, mate.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes going to Liverpool.
Yeah, I could see that. He's a quality little player. He's proper young as well.
20 or something.
Yeah, and I like Tielemans. I think
Tielemans.
Johnny Evans, Pereira on the right could have. If it weren't for Trent, he there's arguments for him to get in the team of the season.
For me, it would have been one.
Really like
so
Tielemans.
now we've all seen each other's. Do you think we could agree on one?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's hard, to be honest with you. We're not that far out.
Well, goalie, we've got to agree on the keeper.
Well, I think me and Mark both voted Pope, and you two went different. So I think it has to be Pope.
I'm not going to sit here and argue for KRUL.
I can accept Pope over Henderson. Like I said, if either of them got a call up, I wouldn't complain. Yeah. I think they're both quality keepers.
I mean, three of us have said Sionku, so I think that's pretty easy. So the back four's done.
Yeah, back four's done.
I think N'Golo Kante doesn't even get to thingy. I think Bruno and De Bruyne can be agreed.
Yeah.
So it's the third for me. It's either Ndidi, Rodri, Maddison, or Kante.
What about Grealish?
Or Grealish, but again, I don't make Grealish a midfielder personally. But
I'm going to put him right there. I think John was right with Ndidi.
Yeah, I would agree with Ndidi. I wouldn't argue with Fabinho being in that midfield.
Yeah.
If we were going for ultimate.
Well, yeah, if you want to do that, then I'm happy to say I honestly think for what I was looking for in my team, Ndidi's better than Fabinho this season, but I could have Fabinho. He was my number 2. So for argument's sake, I'll take Fabinho.
I'd have to say Ndidi. I'd go with Ndidi.
Ndidi. If you look at it,
Ndidi.
Most aerial battles, most forward passes, more touches than Fabinho, and joint most tackles in the league with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. For me, as a defensive midfielder, I'm not looking for him to do what I want Bruno and De Bruyne to do. So for me, I mean, Fabinho, he's probably more likely to do something. I don't know. He'll bang a goal, but I don't even think he scored many more goals than Ndidi. I think Ndidi's on 3 and Fabinho's on 3 as well. I'm not sure.
I can suffer Ndidi. I think he had a good season. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So that's that midfield 3, and then it's just whoever we have with Vardy and Aubameyang.
It's got to be Mane.
Yeah, I'll say Mane.
It's got to be Mane.
It's got to be Mane.
Well, I mean, you say that, but two people voted Sterling. Did you?
That's what I said. I see the drafts, and someone else has had Sterling on it, and someone.
I think that's incorrect.
Yeah, two people voted Mane.
Two people voted Mane.
I'm not going to argue with Mane. I think anyone that argues with Mane being in the team this season is certifiable. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Section.
Yeah, sectionable. Yeah, that's the one.
So we've got Pope, Henderson,
Pope, Trent, Van Dijk, Sionku, Robertson, Ndidi, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Aubameyang, Vardy, Mane. I mean, Premiership winning team, isn't it?
Yeah, great team.
That's about it. What about manager of the year? It's either Klopp or Wilder. I think we could probably debate that.
We'd be debating that all night.
But I mean, 18-point lead. I'm not going to argue with either of them, to be honest with you. I think if it was coming down to managing that team that we've just spoke about, then I'd have to say character and go Klopp. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think man management, it would have to be him.
Yeah.
I think that team would have the bigger occasions as well, and Klopp would suit the bigger occasions.
I think he'd be able to galvanise them. Yeah.
Yeah, just because he's got experience for a
start.
He's got
the experience, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Young player Trent is pretty much undeniable.
Yeah.
Player. I can't argue Rice, unfortunately. Player of the year, De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Goal of the season again. It's a toss of a coin for me between.
Yeah.
It's
both great goals.
Personal preference that one, so we'll split.
Yeah.
And the
goals.
game of the season, the only one that got the same vote was Leicester 9-0. So I think game of the season is subjective, isn't it? I don't think it's worth even trying to agree on that one.
Nah, I just think the 9-0 was unbelievable. Like, it's just 9-0 in a Premiership match is like, what?
No.
Like, we're not over Hackney Marshes. This is Premiership football. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was a good game. Like I said, the only reason I didn't pick it was because when it comes to a match, I like it at both ends. I like a little bit of, you don't know what's going to happen. That game was just, like you say, it was just an absolute hammering. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that brings us to the end, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we covered most bases.
Can't believe we've actually agreed on it.
Yeah, I know. For once, we've actually agreed on something. I think it's only right that we go through the flops of the season, but we'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
And we will wrap this one up. So anyone that listens, big up. Love for that. And we will catch you all again real soon.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.